Hi, this is 365801 and this is my manga collection tour video for 2023. So this is the fourth year that I'm doing a collection tour, and it's usually around mid mid-year point where I put it up. And I really should say this is going to be mainly BL and BL adjacent manga collection. So if you're interested, keep watching. It has changed and developed and has grown, certainly over the last year and certainly over the last 4 years. And as you can see, these are in drawers. All my manga is generally kept in drawers, just because this is what I had, and also it does keep it organized and out of sight, so anyone who comes into my living room would never know that there was almost 1,000 volumes of manga hidden inside these drawers. We're going to start with this drawer first, and I'm going to talk through everything that I've got. Now, this drawer has old Tokyopop. Tokyopop as an imprint, as a publisher, as an English publisher, went out of business in the 2010s. But the German imprint carried on, and that's how they've been able to become resurrected again. I do recommend looking into Red Bard's video on the history of Tokyopop, so you can understand a little bit more about their publishing history. And this is obviously the older one, and you can tell because of this old symbol at the top. And in this drawer I have a variety of BL-esque titles. We have 4 volumes of Vassalord. There are more in Japanese, but we didn't get them in English. Then we've got the 10 volumes of RG or Rig Veda by Clamp. I bought a lot of this in Japanese rather than in English, and now I'm kind of like, oh well, what do I do with it? But that's in my other collection. So I have the 10 volumes, which I have not read. Then I have Legal Drug, also by Clamp, the 3 volumes. I have read this, but it's been a while, so I should probably read it again. Loveless, the 8 volumes. I have not read these. And then I have Tactics, 8 volumes of that. I have not read that either. I've got Devil's Bride by Se-young Kim, which is obviously Korean manhwa, and I have read that one. It's a really good one. And then I've got a fairly new edition, which is Monochrome Factor, and there are 4 volumes of that. And I think in Japanese there might have been 5. As usual, we don't get them all. Then next to that I have Togainu no Chi. This is a Naito Chirao sort of like game adaptation manga, and I think there are more volumes in Japanese. There might even be more volumes by Tokyopop. I thought I had all 3 that were published, but I now discover I think that there are 5 by Tokyopop, and volumes 4 and 5 are very difficult to get hold of. So that's a bit unfortunate. Then I have a single random volume of Fruits Basket, volume 13, which I also have not read. And then at the front we have Gravitation. I have Gravitation X on the very end. Then I have the 12 volumes singly, and then the 12 volumes as omnibus. Then the 2 Gravitation novels. And then I have next to that my incomplete Silver Diamond by Shiho Sugiura, who I love. But I am missing volume 5, 7, 8, and 9, so I need to get them. And then another new edition, Kyo Kara Mao, 5 volumes, again with the 5 volumes Tokyopop published. And I only have volumes 1 and 3. The other volumes, 2, 4, and 5, are tricky to get hold of. Generally quite expensive for me in the UK. So yeah, this is my old Tokyopop drawer. I don't have loads of old Tokyopop, and I don't go out my way to get them. It's generally if they're BL-esque, because that seems to be a thing that Tokyopop did before, and I suppose during their time when they had their own imprint, Blue, for BL. But this is definitely the BL-esque side of things. There are a few other titles that I might pick up, but if you know any others that I haven't got that are from Tokyopop rather than from Blue, I'd love to know in the comments down below. So this is another drawer with multiple publishers. We have 801 at the back, we have Kitty Media at the front, and then next to Kitty Media we have Drama Queen. And these are all completed publishers for my collection. So it's nice to have 3 completed publishers in one drawer. Technically, because I'm missing a couple of volumes because they're in my other collection. Because I don't think I would be able to have them all completed with all of the volumes in this one drawer. But as it is just now, they all fit. Very snugly, I have to admit, but they do fit. So as you can see at the back, we have some Toko Kawaii, some Shioko Kano, some Yoka Nita, and then we have Ze. But I have volumes 1 through 6 and then volume 11. But I do have volume 7, 8, 9 and 10 in my other collection. So as you know, if I put that in here, I would not be able to have everything else. So yeah, that's the kind of crux of the matter. And I do have them all, but unfortunately they wouldn't all fit in the same drawer. Then I've got a few that I haven't read. Yo Higashino and Duobrand. I always make fun of Duobrand because I never read them, and I do need to at some point. And then we've got some other ones that I've read, like Mio Tennoji, Ryo Honjo, Black Sun, Uki Ogasawara. I don't know how many copies of these I have, but I love it and I read it all the time, and it's very problematic. Full of the problematics. Then a random Hinako Takanaga, The Devil's Secret, which is really good, and then Sensitive Pornograph, which for the longest time I didn't know there was even a manga of. I just thought it was some terrible OVA that I needed to bleach my eyes afterwards from watching. But also at the same time, like, okay. But this is actually a thing. So yes, Sensitive Pornograph has a manga. I need to do like a, I don't really want to, an adaptation review. Like what was, because I know this is like multiple short stories, and only 2 of them were made into the OVA. So there's other stories in there. And then we've got Love is Like a Hurricane, which I did a buddy read of with Katie. So I'll put a link to that. Tokiya Shimazaki, which I hated, but also kind of came to enjoy by the end. So as much as I did not enjoy it because it's full of the awful tropes, I kind of just got used to the characters and got used to it, which is not a great thing to say. And then I've got The Desert Prince, which I have 4 copies of. I need to get rid of them. And then right at the end, you can barely see it because it's hidden, because also I don't want to be reminded that I haven't read it yet, and I don't want to, is Under Grand Hotel volumes 1 and 2, which are short, stubby little volumes, which is very weird. Why did 801 do this? Why? I don't understand it. Very difficult to get hold of. And as soon as Katie gets them, she's going to make me do a buddy read. I don't want to. I don't want to read them. It's going to be like 4th Generation Head. It's going to be like the Samurai. The Manga, I can't say it in Japanese, but anyway, there's a style of manga, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. And Underground Hotel is going to make me feel bad, and I'm not going to enjoy it. And Katie's going to be like, yes, I got a copy, let's do this. And I'm going to be happy for her, and I'm going to read it. So there we go. So yeah, 801, there are more volumes in my other collection. At the front, we've got some Kitty Media, which I was so close to finishing for like 2.5, 3 years. And the only volume I needed was volume 3 of Incubus, which is right at the middle section. And once I got that, it was like, finally, yay! So I completed Incubus. And also I'm like not that bothered about reading it. And then there's quite a few, they're all very old. Some of these are available digitally though. The Kitty Media ones often are actually picked up by Sublime because of the publisher who originally published them in Japanese. So Sublime have the rights to quite a few of these. So Dog Style, if you want to read it, you can't get a physical copy. Go onto the Sublime website and you can get a digital copy. And if you wait until they have, for example, 801 day sales, then you might be able to pick them up for a cheaper price. Dog Style, oof. That's sex heavy and kind of a bit crazy. But Modoru Motoni kind of has that style and that sense. So yeah, Gay's Anatomy, Yokai's Hunger, these are all ones I think you can get digitally anyway. But there's quite a few in here that I haven't read yet. And I think it wouldn't take me long to actually read through Kitty Media. Then on the very end we've got Drama Queen. Quite a few of these titles are tricky to get hold of, or for a good price certainly. Challengers 1, 2, 3 and 4 are kind of known for being difficult, but if you can get them, I would suggest maybe reading them or watching our buddy read video of, because woof. But I would love to know what other people think. It made me think. It made me think, and that was another one. But so many of these I haven't read yet, or I've picked up and I've started. Mainly there's a couple of duo brands in there, but there's also ones that I actually from mangaka that I enjoy, like Minase Masara, Empty Heart, which I know I want to give a read to, and Akira Honma, The Last Portrait and The Judged, I haven't read yet and I would like to. So yeah, there's definitely a few in there that I need to read. And then the ones at the end are Rush, which I originally wasn't going to collect, but then I saw and I was like, I may as well get it. And they are original English language manga sort of short stories. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's, you know, don't rush out and buy it, but you can if you want to have a complete collection, and I did in the end. Although the last one that I picked up that made me feel like I had got it was oh, where is it? I'm trying to think, where is it? Which is the last one I picked up? Have I even got it? There, The Summit, that's it, The Summit, Volume 1. I knew it had a Volume 1 on it because it's unfortunately the first one of a series that we only got the first volume in English, but other languages you could get the rest of it. So yeah. But that's this drawer, and 3 full complete publishers. Very happy about this. In this drawer I have 2 publishers. One is a complete publisher, that is Blue, Tokyopop's old Tokyopop's BL imprint, and an incomplete publisher, and that is Be Beautiful. So I don't have every Blue title that I own in here. I have quite a few volumes elsewhere in my other collection, but some of them I have brought over so that I can actually read, like Voice or Noise. I've got the 3 volumes there, but there was actually, I think, 6 or 9 volumes. I think it was like 6 volumes in Japanese. But there's a few others that, like Junjo Romantica. There's obviously 12 volumes that they published. And you can see I've got 4 there. I have the full complete 12 set. I have another complete 11 volume set. And then I have these 4. So I have duplicates I need to get rid of. Getting rid of duplicates would help as well. And I did get rid of a few duplicates out of this drawer, which meant that I have a bit more space, which is good. But yeah, so in terms of the Blue, I have them all. Like Innocent Bird, I have volume 2 here at the front, but I have volumes 1, 2 and 3 in my other collection. So I do have them all. Some of them are a little bit tricky to get hold of. I would say T for Two by Yaya Sakuragi and Love Pistols will be tricky to get hold of a full complete set. Like Love Mode might be difficult to get a full complete set of now. So yeah, there's definitely a few that will be tricky to get if you're collecting them now, if you start collecting now. But some of them you can definitely get for cheap and quite easily. But yeah, it's quite good to know I have a complete set. But yeah, I will need to get rid of my duplicates at some point. When I combine the 2 collections, I'll be able to evaluate which ones I have and which ones I don't have. And the other one, Be Beautiful. I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I haven't completed this yet, but also at the same time I have completed a couple publishers this year, but this is one that I thought I would have completed by now and I haven't, and the longer it goes on, the more time I'm not completing it, the more difficult it will be to complete and more expensive it will eventually be to get these volumes. So I have Playboy Blues, Golden Cane, Casino Lily, Selfish Love, Love a la Carte, the 3 volumes of Finder, Sound of My Voice, Samurai Love. Ugh. This is the one that I always find difficult. Midare Somenishi, A Legend of Samurai Love by Kazuma Kodaka. It's so effed up. If you really want dark and disturbing BL romance manga, Samurai Love. I keep saying this and people are like, okay. You're like, no, you don't understand. You know, Samurai Love walked so that Killing Stalking could run. And I really do think more people should give it a go, and I want to see like live reactions as they read to be like, oh god, no, oh. Or maybe it was just me at the time that it was so impactful because I was younger and I'd never read anything like this before, and it was like, oof, no, this is not good. But yeah, trigger warnings, trigger warnings, trigger warnings. Anyway, the other two at the end is Embracing Love, which I have the Sublime versions of, but not complete, obviously. And then Kizuna, Bonds of Love. And I have volumes 1, 3, and 4 for Embracing Love, so I need to get volumes 2 and 5, and that's it. And for Kizuna, I need to get all the odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, and 7, which is kind of annoying. But I hope eventually I will be able to get them, and that will be another one. So in terms of that, I've got 4, 5, 6 volumes to get for Be Beautiful, and that would be a complete publisher. But that's still quite a few volumes compared to what else I've got. But I have been able to collect them eventually. You know, I've said, oh, I'll never get this one, I'll never get this one, but eventually I do. So I give myself years, it's fine, I will get them eventually. Kizuna and Embracing Love. But hey, if you find them for cheap somewhere and easy to get to the UK, DM me. I will be able to get it. That's of course if you're not collecting them too. Good luck to you if you are. So yeah, I need to get Kizuna and Embracing Love, and then that's that. And this drawer is, that would be great. Oh, it would be so good. But yeah, so happy to have so many publishers completed. But yeah, this is the one that I'm still working on from these 3 drawers. So this is the first of my Sublime drawers, and it's kind of tricky to see because they're all white facing ones. The spines have all got white faces, so but they are organized. So I have, if you've been checking out any of my videos before, you know that this has not been organized like this. I've had all my unread out, and so for this video I have rearranged them so that you can see alphabetically and in order, hopefully order, fingers crossed, that they with the unread and the read mixed in together, just so you can see what I've got. So yeah, at the back, A Strange and Mystifying Story. We were very happy to get all 7 volumes, although I have to say volumes 1 and 2 are probably still my favourite from the series, but it was just so nice to have a complete series by Suzuki Tsuta. Then we've got Awkward Silence. I have read volumes 1, 2, and I think part of volume 3, and I still haven't completed the series. I still haven't read. As you can see, volumes 5 and 6 still have the plastic on. I need to do this. I need to do an Awkward Silence reread, and then complete the series. Then I've got Bad Boys Happy Home. I haven't read either of these. I need to get volume 2. It's just a 3-volume series, so that's one that I need to carry on with collecting. Black or White, which you just started collecting. I've only got volume 2, and that's already, I think, 6 volumes published. Birds of Shangri-La. See, I knew there would be one that would be out of order. Volumes 1 and 2. Yeah. That's going to annoy me. I'm going to have to change that. But yes, Birds of Shangri-La I have read and am enjoying, and I'm collecting. Blue Morning I have read. It's so good. It's so good. I do need to do a reread of it though. Bond of Dreams, Bond of Love. This is a Yaya Sakuragi title. I love, it's good. Candy Color Paradox. I have a mixed relationship with because I love Isaku Natsume, but I am not a fan of the translation because of the ableist language that it promotes. And I would very much like it if Sublime and the translator would stop doing that. But no one seems to, it falls on deaf ears. I keep saying it, but it falls on deaf ears. Then we've got Cast Heaven, but I don't have a complete series yet because Volume 4 kind of came out when it became very difficult to get manga because everyone was buying it. So it's been tricky to get it and to get it for a good price without paying through, like, over the odds. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I need to get Volume 4 and a Volume 7. And I missed a chance of getting it for a good price. So I'm going to see if I can wait it out and get 4 and 7 and then just binge the whole thing. Because I've read 1, 2, and 3. And I am intrigued as to how Ogawa Chise is going to get me to root for the relationship. Am I going to ever root for the relationship? Because in a way I'm not. I'm rooting for the pain, but I'm not rooting for the sweetness. So volumes 5, 6, 7, and 8 are going to have to do some heavy lifting. Heavy lifting. In terms of turning my emotions around. Then I've got Change World, which I haven't read. So I need to read Sayonara Game first. Then I've got Coyote. I've got all 4 volumes. I'm up to date and I've read. Crimson Spell, which I did a reading vlog, buddy reading vlog with Katie. I'll put a link to that. And it was which is more toxic? And I have to say, I feel bad for Crimson Spell because we really should have chosen Ayano Yamane's other series, Finder, which would have been a more accurate fight. I think it was a bit like having a heavyweight against a featherweight or a welterweight. You know, it's just not the same in toxicity levels. And I think we should have put the 2 big hitters, Finder and Punch Up, against each other, which would have been more fair. So yeah, Crimson Spell won that as being the least toxic in my opinion. Although I think Katie really enjoyed Punch Up. Shioko Kano, get it. What I as the judges we were undecided. Dick Fight Island. I have not read volume 2 yet, and it's just a 2-volume series, so I need to read that one to complete that. And then Don't Be Cruel, volume 11 has come out. It's not in this drawer, but it's on its way to me. And then Embracing Love, we've got volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as omnibus, and then that was it. Nothing else. I feel sorry for this series. It just keeps getting dropped, which is a shame. Then we've got Escape Journey, which feels weird in the luminosity of the printing versus everything around it, which is a good story, but also a difficult one to recommend because of the content. And I think Ogaretsu Tanaka does such an amazing job of making you, once again, root for a couple that you think maybe shouldn't be together. Then we got False Memories. It's been a while since I read this one, Isaku Natsume, and I do need to do a reread. And I was going to buddy read it with someone. Was it Bazaar? I don't know. Who was I going to buddy read False Memories with? But I haven't done it yet. So that might have to be a read soon. And then we've got Finder at the end. Now, as you can see, I don't have volume 1 and I don't have volume 8 because when they got the license for it, they decided to, for all the people who had, you know, were up in arms going, great, brilliant, but I've already got volumes 1 through 7. I just need volume 8. I don't want to have to wait until you publish all of these other volumes. They were very good about it and said, don't worry, we got you. We'll print volume 8 first and then go back and reprint volumes 1 through 7. So in my other collection, when volume 8 came out, I was down living around where my parents are. And so I picked up volume 8 and volume 1, and then I moved. So volumes 2 to 10 are here. But my 1 and 8 are in my other collection. I have not yet picked up volume 11 though, which I feel bad about because volume 12 is about to come out. So I'm two behind. which is not great, but I will have to pick them up at some point. But yeah, so this is the first volume. This is my first drawer full of Sublime stuff, and I am happy with what I've got, but I know that there's definitely some small gaps from newer releases. But as I've said, I'm not terribly concerned about picking them up ASAP if they're not going to be difficult to get hold of. This is the second Sublime manga drawer, and I've pushed everything forward again so you can see. It starts with the F, which is the end of the F, Fourth Generation Head, Tatsuyuki Oyamato by Scarlet Beriko. I love Scarlet Beriko, but I do not enjoy this, and I think it's just difficult. It's just difficult, and there's a line, and I don't know how to describe it. So I'd love if someone could let me know. Is it dark romance? Maybe I'm just not into dark romance, and yet I really love Twittering Birds. So is that a dark romance or is it not? I don't know. Anyway, Given next. I need to pick up volume 7, and volume 8 will be coming out later this year, and then that's it done. So that would be good. Hide and Seek, completed and read. His favourite, which I've read up to volume 10, but I have volume 11 and 12, and now volume 13 is coming out as well. And I do think I need to reread it, but also at the same time, it's probably I do remember being a little bit like, this is a bit samey, and also it kind of feels problematic when one of the people in the relationship does not necessarily want to be in the relationship, or continues to state that they do not want to be in a relationship. It feels weird. Like maybe this shouldn't be happening. Anyway, His Favourite is a very good title for it, because it's about someone else's favourite. It's not actually about the couple. It's centering the person who is the aggressor, and I do call him an aggressor because that's how he pursues him, relentlessly. Anyway, I haven't read volumes 11 and 12, and I need to. Honey Darling, which I just did a reread of, Norikazu Akira. I love it. The masculine physiques are very nice, and the cat is cute. It's got a cat, so of course. Jackass, which is my favourite Scarlet Beriko title, because the other ones are too dark. And I hope that we get the spin-off of this. I hope Sublime announces that soon. Hey, maybe for 801 Day, that would be good. Then the other Scarlet Beriko's, Jealousy, volumes 1, 3, and 4. So I need to get volume 2 and volume 5. And then that will be that. Because there's only a 5-volume series, but I have not read it, and I plan to only read it once and then put it back in a drawer and never speak of it again. Because I need to read everything I buy, but I haven't got the full series, so I can't read it. And I'm only planning to binge this on a day when I'm feeling mentally healthy and capable, and then probably laying in bed the next day. Lynx was great. It's obviously Natsuki Kizu's Given, so it's a nice little... I really like this one because they are all interconnected little stories. Liquor and Cigarettes, Ranmaru Zarian. She's hot, man. She's hot. And I do think this deserves a reread. I think I need to reread it. Love in Limbo by Haji, which is nice. Love Stage, which woof. I did a buddy read with Katie, and if you go back to this, you're like, this is a fairly modern work, right? But it feels like it's completely full of the problematic tropes of BL from the past. So much sexual assault, so much. MADK, love this. I love this, and I'm anticipating volume 3 will be fabulous, because apparently it's the last one. It's only a 3-volume series. I don't know how it's going to go. That ending for volume 2 though, was harsh, and I loved it, but also I felt very uncomfortable. But I kind of think that's the point. Midnight Rain, which is a bit like Honey Darling. It's got the male physique, which I quite enjoy looking at and seeing in BL, because we don't get that all the time. Then we've got Midnight Stranger, Nao no Bora, who has always got some supernatural stuff going on. Nights, Yoneda Ko, had one of my absolute favourite sex scenes. You know the one I'm talking about. You know the one I'm talking about. For the longest time, I was like, wow, I don't think someone can draw this as so hot. This is so amazing. It's a great one. Punch Up, we've got that. I just did a read of that with Katie as well. You should go check that out. Woof, woof. Did not enjoy, do not recommend. But if there's a volume 8, I will probably pick it up. But I will not reread the whole series, probably ever again. Then we've got Sayonara Game, Aminaduki Yu, which I have not read, and I plan to soon. Secret, and I don't know if you say the X's, because like Holic, you're not supposed to say the X's, and Hunter, Hunter, you don't say the X's, so if you just got supposed to call it Secret. Secret what? Secret, is this supposed to be like dot, 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 secret? And then you just like leave it hanging? I guess that. Anyway, it's Megadu Hinohara, and I love it. I love it. 7 Days, which is great to have the omnibus version, Tachibana Video and Takarai Hito's work, which was plagiarized. I'm just going to say it was plagiarized terribly, and admitted to be being plagiarized by an author who was supposed to be doing own voices. Now, it's not your own voice if you're plagiarizing, is it? So, yeah, the publishers went with it anyway. And I'm just saying it. You fight me. Fight me then. Fight me, I don't care. Sleeping Moon, my only favourite Kano Miyamoto. It's the only one I actually like. Spiritual Police, which I've not read yet because Volume 3 never got published. I don't think it ever got published in Japanese, which is why it didn't get published. But it was like, or maybe it did and they just didn't. I don't think there's an issue with this because there's a 3rd volume. So I don't know why we only have 2. Anyway, starting with a kiss, I would like to reread Yokanita. Tableau numero 20, Est M, I have read, but I would like to do a reread. 10 Count, which I've not read that in a while, which might be worth a reread as well. The Man of Tango, also worth a reread. And also Male Physiques. Male Physiques of the very manly man type physiques. The very Hurry Darling Midnight Rain type. And then The World's Greatest First Love. I do have, it says volume 3, 5, 7, 8. I do have volumes 1 and 2 and 4 and 6, but they're in my other collection. And of course, volume 16 will be coming out very soon, and I'm looking forward to that a lot. It usually comes out in May, around my birthday, so that's usually like a birthday thing. But I think volume 15 came out, did that come out already this year? Was that like a January, February type thing? So that was a bit odd, but we do have volume 16 coming out, which is great. And I'm going to read it as soon as I can and get a copy as soon as I can. So yeah, this is the 2nd drawer of Sublime. So this is the final Sublime manga drawer. And so there is a lot of space in here, which I could utilize for other titles. Because I'm not so far behind with all of my Sublime physical purchases, but yeah, I did want to try and see if I could just keep it all in the 3 drawers, but I might have to use some of the space for overspill. Anyway, what I have is the rest of the teas. That is 3 Wolves Mountain, which I've read, Therapy Game, all of that, which I've read, waiting on more Restart. It's coming in Japan, so looking forward to that. Toritan, Birds of a Feather, by Yamamoto Kotetsuko, who I love, and Yarachin Bitch Club. I, for some strange reason, thought that volume 4 was the last volume, but it's not, so we're getting a volume 5, and I don't even know if that's the final, so I think it is, but who knows, who knows. But I will be picking up as soon as I can for a good price, so that I can, fingers crossed, complete this. There are quite a few ongoing series that I have, and that's one of them that I'd like to complete as much as I want to complete as much as I can, and that's one of them. So yeah, that's the end of my Sublime collection, other than what I've got in my other collection. In this drawer we have Dieu, Doki Doki, and Vertical. Those are the 3 publishers. I have now completed Dieu. I think there are only 2 or 3 volumes in my other collection, but this is the majority of Dieu. And it feels good. It feels good to be able to say, I have it all. There's nothing more to get. We have Kiripapa by Takagi Ryo. It's amazing actually when you think about it. There's not a lot of Takagi Ryo published, even though they are incredibly prolific. And Kiripapa seems to be the only one, I think. I have read this one and watched the OVA. It's certainly something. Then we've got Idle Pleasures by Furi Misasagi, Made in Heaven, which I have read, I know I have, but it's been such a long time I have no idea what it's about. Future Lovers by Saiki Kunida, and I think this is an amazing title. Volumes 1 and 2. They are tricky to get hold of, and as you can see, my volume 2 is an ex-library copy, but I'm fine with that because for a while it was really difficult to find. Since I have picked up this, I have seen it for really good condition and really good price, but at the time it was like, wow. And I'm still happy to have it because it's a great title. It's a great series, and once again we don't have a lot of Saika Kunida's works. These are ones that, like, unfortunately we do have quite a few mangaka who just have like one thing published in English and then nothing else, but actually in Japanese they are incredibly prolific and beloved, and they've got some amazing titles that just were never brought over. Then next to that I have another SM that seduced me after the show. I have not read that one yet. Take Me to Heaven, Nase, Yamato Nase, which I was so surprised about. It was amazing. It's very much like Holic, but make it gay. And this was before Holic, so technically Holic copied it. I just want to say, if you haven't, give Take Me to Heaven a wee read. It's really great. Then we've got Part-Time Pets by Reno Amagi. That was not brilliant. Spring Fever by Yugi Yamada, which I think I've read, but now I can't remember if I have. So anyway, anything Yugi Yamada is interesting. Then we've got Hanky Panky by Koreaki Kamuro, which I think this mangaka has a few other things that are interesting and not BL, but I need to look into that more. Then we've got Mr. Mistress by Shimba Rees, which I joked that you need to sell your kidney to get a volume 2. I still have my kidney, so that's good. But I did get a volume 2, which was a shame because volume 1 was great and volume 2 wasn't as. So anyway. Then we've got Rough Love, Tamaki Kirishima, Tough Love Baby, a lot of the rest of them, Shioko Kano's, as well as Yakuza in Love, which I haven't read. I haven't read either of these titles. Love Machine by Amayo Tsuge, I have also not read. Cigarette Kisses, another Yamato Nase, which I think I have read. Tomcats, haven't read. Noodle Shop Affair by C.J. Mikulski. Yeah, another one. C.J. Mikulski only has like 4, maybe 3 or 4 titles in English, and yet massively prolific. So this is of a time period, so I don't know if they're still producing work, and if they are, we're not getting it. Hate to Love You, Makoto Tatano. Makoto Tatano, my love-hate relationship with Freshmen, and then I have a few extra volumes, and they're all a bit mixed up. I Shall Never Return. I do have the full set. Red Blinds the Foolish, another STEM that I haven't read. Say Please, another Kano Miyamoto I haven't read. And then Spicy But Sweet and Naughty But Nice by Naduki Kojima, who I also have a sort of, I don't think it's a love-hate relationship, I just don't really want to read their works, but I know I'm going to have to at some point. Chocolate Surprise by Lily Hoshino, which was very Lily Hoshino, if you know what I mean. And then Two of Hearts by Kano Miyamoto, which I have read and I do not recommend. As well as Kiss All the Boys by Shioko Kano. If you can get hold of all 3 volumes, wow, what a wild ride that title is. When we talk about problematic BL, people are talking about problematic BL when, you know, the couple is 2 or 3 years apart in age. Like, oh my god, that's so problematic. Get over yourselves. Gen Z, come on. You want some problematic BL? This is what they're talking about. Kiss all the boys. This is the problematic BL. 100%. You want messy? You want messy? And some people do. So I'm telling you, I'm saying all these things. The great thing about reviews is sometimes when you say, oh, there was too much sex in this, that is a green light for someone else to give it a go. So even if you complain about something and say something isn't for you, it might be for someone else. So if you like messy, problematic, oh my goodness, what are these people doing? Don't make these choices. Kiss all the boys. Shiyoko Kano is messy AF. And not always in a good way. For me anyway. But might be for you. So yeah, Kiss All the Boys was so funny. I did read it. But I really wish we'd done a buddy read of it because I think Katie will love it because it's messy. So yeah, that's my due, but minus a couple of other volumes. And I would like to do a bit more work on due stuff. Then in front of that, I got Doki Doki. This isn't everything from Doki Doki. I do have, I think, a couple more Doki Doki titles in my other collection, but not too many. And also there are, I think, just one other title, and that's Alice the 101st, which I know is a shoujo with just pretty boys, and it's not for me. So I'm gonna just decide. So Princess Plus by Mikio Tsuda on the end is the last volume that I've added to this collection, and I am calling it done, and I'm happy to say that it feels completed to me. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I haven't rearranged these, they're still a bit of a mess. But as you can see, I've got some more Makoto Tatuno, Bloody Kiss Tonight, Electric Hands by Taishi Zao, some more Makoto Tatuno, How to Capture a Martini and How to Control a Sidecar. This is like a duology. Then some more Aki Aki, which is Train. I've never read. I've had it for ages. I've not read it. I Want to Bite, which is a novel, so a yaoi novel, but in a doki doki way, and tricky to get hold of for a good price, certainly. And I do think that it's of its time. Then we've got Happy Boys, another Makoto Tasuno, haven't read. Millennium Prime Minister, have not read. Iki. Midnight Bloom, I have read. Cannot remember what it's about. The Devil Inside, also cannot remember what it's about. Fevered Kiss, which is another novel. Then we've got Double Cast, which is one of my absolute favourites. It's really difficult for me to go through drawers and be like, what's my favourite in here? And actually, when people say, what's your favourite BL? Double Cast is right up there. I love it. It's about acting and actors, and it's about two people who are given the same role. One of them is like the understudy of the other. So when actors are technically not supposed to be acting, every single day for hours and hours on end with no breaks, they get the understudy to come in and do the role on different days so that they can have a break. And it turns out there's a bit of a rivalry between these two, and it's so good. And Mamahara Eli does the adaptation, and I don't always love adaptations, but oh my god, I love this one so much. So Double Cast is definitely one of my favourites. Colour, this is an Iki Taishizao Together. This is when they started doing things as a pair. Crimson Cross, which is a fairly new one, I haven't read yet. Boys Love by Kaim Tachibana, which was just not great. I wasn't really expecting it to be good, but it wasn't. Another novel, Green Light, Wolf God, which I actually found really exciting and interesting. It's not BL as far as I can tell. It's just it's actually kind of a shoujo shonen, like battle manga type thing, and really interesting artwork and an interesting story. But we only got volume 1, so unfortunately that's all you can read. We've got Cool and Uncool, which is another adaptation, but Asao Kai does the artwork, and I love her art, so that's one of my favorites as well. And then some more Happy Boys and Otodama. Doki Doki, as you probably know, is part of DMP, and DMP is just like Tokyopop, and they don't publish all of the volumes. So we've got Otodama, Voice from the Dead, volumes 1 and 2, and yes, there is a volume 3. We just didn't get it. Thanks, Thanks, Doki Doki. Thanks, DMP. And Living for Tomorrow, which is another Taishi Zhao at the end there. And then we've got the vertical, and there's not terribly many vertical titles that I'm that interested in picking up. So I do have Lychee Light Club by Usumaru Furuya, which I don't know why there's not more people just screaming about this. Because of the whole Junji Ito thing, I'm like, this has been out for ages. Is this in your collection? Like, if you like horror, you should have Usumaru Furuya. You should have Lychee Light Club. It is, something I read every October. And obviously, What Did You Eat Yesterday? I am up to volume 17 in my collection. I think volume 20 is coming out this year. But I've only actually read up to volume 7. So I do need to read a lot more. So yeah, that's this drawer and 3 different publishers. And I'm very happy to have what I have. And I will hopefully get through reading all of them at some point. So this is my Net Comics drawer. It has expanded so much that it has a whole drawer to itself. There's still plenty of space in there to grow a bit more, which is good because there are a few volumes that I'm missing. At the back I have completed series, which is great, and at the front I have Intense, but I'm missing volume 2 from His House. I am missing volumes 5 and 6 from Prince Barry. I need to get the rest of Boy Princess. I'm missing most of that. And then Totally Captivated, Totally Peeking Under the Sheets. I need to get volume 1. And then that will be my Totally Captivated complete. I really should be prioritizing some of these because 1 volume of His House means I've completed a series. 1 volume for Totally Peeking means I've completed a series. So I do need to. I thought I had completed Prince Barry, but the creators, Solanine and Maki, discontinued. So I do need to pick up volumes 4 and 5. In fact, do you know what? I might just order volume 5 and 6. I think volume 6 is on sale at the moment, so I should just order that now, shouldn't I? I might just order that as soon as I'm done here. But yeah, there's a mixture. Most of them are Korean, obviously. So we've got Behind Story, which I've read. Sweet Blood. Love that. Highly recommend. It's great. Se-young Kim. Great job. I loved it. I loved it. Then To Take an Enemy's Heart by Yusa, which is a 9-volume series. They reprinted volumes 1 and 2 for all the people who'd missed it the first time. And I was like, oh, thank you, Net Comics, thank you. So I was able to complete that series. I think it's a revenge series. I think I'm going to love it, but I haven't read it yet, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. And then there's Ruriville. Volume 3 was supposed to be printed, and I've never seen anyone with a volume 3. If you have a volume 3, I'd love to know. Please let me know in the comments if you have a volume 3 of Ruriville, but I don't think it actually exists. Then we've got Let Die. That's a full set. I do think Net Comics should at least reprint. Is it volume 14 that people have difficulty getting? Because there's no point in collecting all the other volumes if you can't get one of the volumes. So, Core Scramble, easy and fairly cheap to get hold of, I think. And then Aegis at the end. Intense, which people seem to love, but I haven't actually read yet. His House, The Greatest Villain, which was just a bit silly. Dreams of the Days, which I actually really enjoyed as well. And then some Japanese and Korean here together. So Honey Senior, Darling Junior. It's a 2-volume series by Chifumi Ochi. The only other Chifumi Ochi I know of is Breathe by Yaoi Generation, which I don't have any of. And I don't think I'm ever going to get. They're super expensive and hard to get. And so that's on my wish list, but I probably will never have. Then Not So Bad, Love Full of Scars, a psychedelical title. Merry Family Plan, Dining Bar Akira, You Don't Know Me, Age Called Blue, that's SM, and then of course Prince Barry and Boy Princess. So these are, there's only The Warehouse, I think, which I don't have any of, and a couple that might be shoujo-esque, BL-esque, not sure exactly. So I'd love, this is my shout out, I would love some sort of direction. Are there some Net Comics titles that you think should be in this collection that are not, other than the warehouse, which I know I need to get, but they kind of just dropped that, and everyone was like, "What?" And it was like 5 volumes. It's quite a big thing. They're quite expensive, so I am gonna have to look out for them, but also look out for them for a good price because they are pricey over here. But are there any Net Comics titles that I don't have in here, not even a single volume of, that you think, that's odd, that's suspicious? Let me know so that I can add it to my list, because at the moment my list is not that long for Net Comics to be able to complete the publisher. So I should be focusing. I should be getting that. I'm telling myself, order that volume 6 that's on sale just now. Go and get it. Go get some Boy Princess just to get it. Just get it. So yeah, yeah, I'm just patting myself on the back as a collector. There's not terribly many volumes to get. But if there are some missing, I need to know about it. So let me know and I will put them on my shopping list. Now in this drawer, it's a mixture, and unfortunately it's not gonna work out. I'm gonna have to rearrange things. Something's gonna have to give because I've very quickly run out of space since my reorganization video. I'll put a link to that in the corner. Or maybe not, maybe down in the description, because I think there'll be too many things to link to. In this drawer, I have 7 Seas and Yen Press. And these are 2 publishers that are fairly new to the BL game. Yen Press decided to kind of come back into it. They were out of it for a while, and they've started again, which is good. They've got some amazing license announcements, very excited. So they're going to be adding a lot to the pool, the BL manga pool, for me to collect. As has 7 Seas, they've added so much more. But because I've been focusing on out of print publishers and getting out of print things, I kind of neglected them. A bit like Net Comics, for like a full year I only picked up 1 volume. And then the next year I picked up loads. And I think, once again, I didn't pick up a lot from 7 Seas, and this year I picked up loads. So there's definitely been a shift from my collecting to focus from out of print, because I have completed them, to, hey, what's been printed in the last, say, 5 years? I need to start looking at, like, okay, what's been published and what is being published. And there's a lot. I missed out on them, and now I'm getting them. It's like, wow. So I was up to date for a while, and then now I'm not. I'm behind. Okay, let's go through this. It's a bit weird how I've organized it. I have Yen Press on the right hand side and 7 Seas on the left hand side, because they have large trim size and they have small trim size, which is great in one drawer, but not great for the mix of the two, because they're starting to meet in the middle. We're gonna run out of room. I've already run out of room because the Betrayal Knows My Name Volume 2 should be at the back, and I don't think I can fit it in. So yeah, we're at the point where I'm gonna have to rearrange this. And the only other drawer I think I can use effectively is the Sublime drawer at the bottom, which I think I can do. So I might have to rearrange one of these and put them down there. I think I can do it. So yeah, what have I got though? That's one of the things. There is not a huge amount of Yen Press for me to get, but I am behind. So I have a Polar Bear in Love, Volume 1, and I think they've just released another volume, so there's like 4 volumes, I think, maybe even 5, by Koromo. And I really enjoyed this, and this is BL. I don't care what anyone says, this is BL. So yeah, I need to get the rest of that. Silver Spoon is not BL, so that could be removed from the drawer and put elsewhere, and collect the rest of that. 1001 Nights, I have Ice version rather than the Yen Press, but I do need to collect the other volumes, and I don't know if I'll ever get them. As with the Betrayal Knows My Name, I always have non-buyer's remorse, never buyer's remorse. If I buy something and I bought it for too much, I'm like, oh, darn it. But if I don't pick up something and I subsequently find out that I could have got it for that price and now it's going to cost me double or triple, or I just can't afford it, I kick myself so hard. It's like, no. And I could have got a full set of The Betrayal Knows My Name for less than 50 quid, and I didn't pick it up. And now I have non-buyer's remorse. The Monster and the Beast, Volume 4. I didn't know Volume 4 was the last volume. It's the only one I haven't got, and it's just been released. Although, has it been released in the UK? I'll need to check. But I think it has, so I will need to get a volume of that ASAP. And the, what's it called? Infernal Devices? That could probably get removed from this drawer as well and put elsewhere, because I never read that as BL in any way. And I didn't enjoy it. My first and possibly last Cassandra Clare. Who knows? Maybe I'll read more. And then I've become an Amiga today, which is a great newer Omegaverse title in print. Love it. And then Aki, which isn't technically BL, but the artwork is so stunning that I need to have it. It's great. And a sort of psychological exploration of human existence. And then in front you have the other Aki title, which is White Cat's Revenge as Plotted from the Dragon King's Lap. And I only have volumes 1 and 2, but volume 4 just came out, so I need to get volumes 3 and 4. And I have volumes 3 and 4 of I Cannot Reach You, but I don't have the rest. And that's 6 volumes are out just now. I don't know how many there are altogether, but that's definitely a series that is the newer ones that I need to collect. Then I've got a couple old ones like Mr. Flower Bride, Love Quest, Rust Blaster, which is technically not BL either, Ne, which is not, Caterpillar Girl is not. And then the other world's books depend on the bean counter. I only have volume 2. Volume 3 is out now, so I need to get 1 and 3. And Nabari no O by Yuki Kamatani, which I don't really know if I want to get the rest of it. It's not BL, but it definitely read like it was queer when I watched the anime with my friend. And then The Vampire and His Pleasant Companions, which is 4 volumes are out. Marimo Ragawa and Narase Konohara. 2 big hitters. 2 names that are huge in Japanese BL and light novels in Japan. So I need to get the rest of those. And so there's quite a few new titles to get for Yen Press. For 7 Seas, oh, I forgot. The Angel of El Hamburg is also an Aki title. Hardback. If you can get a copy, do it. It's beautiful, stunning, and hardback. Wow. Okay, 7 Seas. I am so behind. So I kind of have this organized by read and unread-ish. Not 100%. Because I've read a lot of this, but there's only a few that I haven't, that are just unread. Let's see. The Bride Was a Boy and Monotone Blue. The 2 Nagabes are next to each other. Gorgeous. And BL Metamorphosis, that was a recent one that I finished. That was great. I Didn't Mean to Fall in Love. Suzumara Minta, Love. Entangled with You and Manly Appetites. So this is the point where I have to get something. So I don't have volume 3 of Manly Appetites. I enjoyed Manly Appetites. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it was perfectly nice. And I see it as a very slow burn, maybe bisexual awakening? Or gay awakening? I don't know. For Otsu. So Minagishi already loves Otsu. And this series is kind of like Otsu becoming more enamored with Minagishi in a more obvious way. And I think that's what I'm enjoying about it. So yeah, I need to get volume 3, but it's always been a bit pricey. Love is an Illusion. I only have volume 1. I need to get I think volume 3 has come out, so I need to get 2 and 3. And then, is it Nagata Kabi? I don't have all of her works, and I haven't read this one yet, so I do need to get the other ones, but they're never a priority. And The Titan's Bride, I got volume 2, so I can't read it, so I need to get the other ones. I think volume 3 is out as well. And then Until I Meet My Husband, I really enjoyed that one. And then I've got Sarazanmai. These are light novels, so they don't necessarily need to be in the drawer, so I could move them. And then After Growing Hungry Restart After Growing Hungry, which is the second volume of Restart After Coming Home, which I need to get. So yeah, there's a few that I need to get from that side. And then on the front, we've got Thigh High, and then The Cornered Mouse Streams of Cheese, The Carp on the Chopping Block Jumps Twice, a fantastic series. Total Eclipse of the Eternal Heart, fantastic. Our Dining Table, fantastic. And then Boy Meets Maria, which I thought was okay, and everyone was like really, like, oh, it's so emotional, and I was like, yeah, it was alright. Like, am I dead inside? Am I dead inside? And then Seaside Stranger, I've got volumes 1 and 5, unfortunately, so I need to get the other volumes. I've only read volume 1. And then The High School Life of a Fudanshi, which I love, because it's very meta. So if you like meta stories, this one's a great one. Go For It Nakamura, and I don't have Go For It Again, and I need to. And then Merman in My Tub is one that I've just started collecting. It's just been a new edition. And then Classmates, you can see there, I've only got volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I need to get O, OB, and Blanc, and then whatever else comes out. So yeah, I think I'm going to split these two. I'm going to have Yen Press somewhere, and a 7C somewhere else, depending on space, which is an issue. I'm now discovering more and more, because I'm spending and buying more this year than I have before. This is definitely not going to be one of my cheaper years, I think. Just putting it out there now. There's more volumes to add, but I'm enjoying the collecting process. And so many great new 7C and Yen Press titles. Really been happy with them though. So yeah, this is another two publishers that I'm gonna have to split. So for this drawer, it's one of my small ones at the top. I have Viz Media in here, and I don't have a huge amount of Viz Media titles, and I'm not collecting a huge amount. I have all of the physical Loveless volumes that Viz have now put out, so I've got up to volume 13. It's on hiatus, but I feel good about that because I have them all now. I also have that Blue Sky Feeling, which is an Okura Komahashi title, which I have thoughts and feelings about, and I feel like I need to maybe do a reread and then like an exploration of it. I feel like it made me feel uncomfortable with the inclusion of the older gay man as an ex-boyfriend. And I know he was supposed to be presented in a certain way, but it just made me feel uncomfortable. Just gonna say that. And then I've got this random Black Rose Alice volume because it's set in Omizashiro, and I like the art style and the story, but I haven't actually got the rest of the volumes. And it's not BL, but it has pretty boys. And then of course in the front we have the series that I'm loving, that everyone is loving, My Love Mix-Up. Volume 8 is about to come out soon, and volume 9 by the end of the year. So we will have this completed. I will have this completed by the end of the year. So, it's such a good story, and I'm just absolutely loving that. This is definitely the only shoujo beat that I'm like, yes, but I would be very happy if shoujo beat did more like this, because it really is a very tender and sweet. And this is the kind of thing that I would say is wholesome. It's very often used in BL. People say, oh, but this is a wholesome BL. Like, oh, it's not like those other BL. I just want to tell people to fuck off. Because what does wholesome mean? But yet when I think about My Love Mix-Up, that's the word that comes to mind. And I'm like, yeah, this is wholesome. I don't know what you're talking about with the other things. But yeah. Anyway, Bloody Mary, volumes 1 to 6, and then 8. I need to get volumes 7, 9, and 10, and then actually read it. And this is a shoujo beat one, but it doesn't feel as BL-y. And then I have this random volume of Descendants of Darkness, volume 11, which is the old shoujo sign. And I need to get the rest of this. I really want to get the rest of this. I think it will be good. So this is everything I have for Viz, and just a few that I'm collecting. So in this drawer, I have my Kodansha, and as you can see, it's packed, and I'm going to have to relocate it somewhere else. So I'm going to have to do some rearranging of some titles, I think. In the back, I have read, and in the front, I have unread. So I have read volumes 1 and 5 and 6. One should be there, but I put it here. And Until the Full Moon, and number 6, Descending Stories Volume 1, Ten Dance Volume 1, My Summer Review, and Hitorejime Boyfriend. I have read all of those, and then here are the ones I haven't read. So there's not terribly many Kodansha physicals for BL they've been putting out. So if there's more, let me know so I can put it down on my shopping list. But I do need to do a bit more, like, what have they put out other than the digital ones? Because they have put out quite a few really interesting and good digital that they haven't really been promoting terribly much. And then they've got just a few physical ones that are quite pricey because they are large trim. So yeah, I need to get volume 6 of Ten Dance and volume 13 of Hichijima My Hero. And then the rest of Descending Stories, which is not BL, but it's fabulous. And it's very queer coded. It feels like it's a BL, even though it's not. It feels like it is. And that's probably because it's by Haruko Kumota, who has some BL that we haven't received. I don't know when are we going to get. What is it? My Darling Kitten Hair? I don't know. I don't know how to say it in Japanese anymore. But yeah, I want some more Haruko Kumota in physical print, please, and thank you. So yeah, Kodansha. It's going to have to get relocated to a different drawer at some point. That's just going to have to happen. Now, filming for this is a little bit tricky because I don't have anywhere to put this. This is my tripod at its highest level, so it's going to be a bit shiggly, I'm afraid. In this drawer, I have a mixture of publishers. I have new Tokyopop. I have some June manga small trim, but actually only 2. I have the Kizuna because I have not yet gotten volume 3. And I have Twittering Birds because it's an ongoing series as well. So I need to get the rest when it comes out. I also have this random volume. I need to get the other one, volume 2. This is Pantheon, My Brother's Husband by Gengoro Tagame. And then I have some Kuma, and I have some Square Enix. I have some Broccoli, and is it Broccoli? And I think, and then I've got One Piece books, which is just one title. So in here is a mixture of ongoing and being collected. So this one is going to grow, but this won't grow very much. I only need 1 volume, and this one, I don't know when the next, volume 8, I don't know when that's going to come out. There is a lot more Tokyopop physically that I don't have. But because I have such an issue with like going out and buying them, I haven't been. And then I added a whole heap of them this year with that like bundle lot that I got from eBay. Otherwise this would just be about here-ish. So, or even here. So yeah, there's a lot more Tokyopop titles. But I have read, everything except for Hyperventilation. That's on my to-read list. And I've read everything except for volume 6. I've read, except for the Kazuna that are in their plastics. I haven't read this one yet. And in here, I've got You Are My Happiness and Boys of the Dead. And I've read everything else. So in this drawer, this also doesn't stress me out, even though it's got a mixture of different publishers. It doesn't make me feel stressed in any way because I have 5 volumes of unread manga in here, and that makes me feel good because I've read everything else. I do have a lot of Tokyopop digitally because they keep putting them on sale, so I don't know if they're going to still be on sale when this video comes out, but if you want to go and check out Kindle, they often do Tokyopop down to £1 or £2. So you can check them out if you want to see if you add them to collection, because it does take up a lot of space. I will eventually get them, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get them for the price that they're usually sold at. Is very expensive, whereas I would rather get them for sale prices. So maybe going into Forbidden Planet and getting 3 for 2s, I would much prefer to pay that kind of price. or second-hand prices than buying them brand new, because they're usually around £10 to £15, and that's a bit expensive for a volume of manga. Especially Tokyopop ones, they're okay, but I haven't found one that I'm like, wow, that was worth £15. So yeah. Whereas Kuma titles they are wonderful, and they are interesting and different, and the quality of the publication, the paper, the binding, the dust jacket, everything screams this is worth the money that you're paying. Even if you're getting it for a bargain, it's like, wow, this is worth more. So yeah, so this is a good drawer, but a mixture, and I'm very happy with my One Piece books, and I'm happy that they're still being published. Who would have thought back in the day when I Hear the Sunspot Volume 1 came out that it would still be going now? It's amazing. So yeah, this is a really good drawer. So this is June Manga, but smaller trim size. This is a great drawer. This is a drawer that makes me feel good because I actually took the time to kind of semi-organize it, which makes me feel so much more relaxed. As you can see at the back, we have the Finder 7 volumes, Ai no Yamane, that they published and I have read. So I know that's read, and it goes at the back as a longer series. Then I've got Deadlock, volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, which I did a buddy read with Katie at the start of the year in January, which was not very successful for me. I did not enjoy it as much because it was very much an adaptation, and kind of felt like, well, that was it. Be prepared for an unsatisfying ending, which is never a good thing in BL. You should always leave satisfied. And then we've got a lot of ones that I've read. So I Give to You, Love Syndrome, Ambiguous Relationship, I could always reread. Minese Masa, I would read that again. So Ambiguous Relationship is always worth a reread. Then we got a few other ones. All of the back row I know I've read, or I've read fairly recently, so I remember what it's about. So yeah, Stay Close to Me, Yaya Sakuragi, that was a great one. So happy to have that. Really great purchase. And Close the Last Door, volume 2. Whoa, what a great purchase. Also, Only Serious About You, that 2-volume series by Asokai. Love that. One of my absolute faves. Definitely one of my faves. It's on my list of faves, which I haven't written down. I need to actually do that at some point, be like, hey, these are things that I love. And then just quite a few, like Rabbit Man, Tiger Man, that was a buddy read this year, and also a really great choice. And I think we needed it. We needed something short and fun, and Akira Honma delivered. And I'm annoyed that there's a 5-volume series out there that we are not getting. It's only 5 volumes. It came in a box set. Volume 5 has just been released with a box, so you can put your set in it. Why do we not get these things? I feel so deprived with my 1000 BL volume collection. But I just feel like we could definitely get this reprinted if we just start a campaign. So everyone, please spam all of the publishers. Rabbit Man, Tiger Man, it's only 5 volumes. Sublime, license save, please. Then quite a few ones. No One Loves Me, another Yugi Yamada one that I am happy to have. It does have quite a few errors in it. June Manga at that point in time were just like putting out crap. They just didn't care. But I'm still happy to have it. And then Open the Door to Your Heart, which is the spin-off to Close the Last Door. And I actually prefer this because it's the older brother's story, which is great, which is so good. And then in the front is a mixture of read and unread. Intense Rain, Castle Mango that I've just recently reread I should say. Oh, so good. And then a few that I kind of want to read, but I know I've read already, so let's reread Secrecy of the Shivering Night, Wolf Magic, that's definitely one I'm going to be reading this year. Waltz in the Clinic, maybe. And then some newer ones. So you can see the new ones there. Only the Flower Knows. These are the new June manga. I feel like there was a point in time when, I want to say like 2014, 2015, when they just weren't publishing. Like, they just stopped. And as you can see, there's Border Volume 3 there. Border is a 7-volume series in Japanese. We've got 5. They could, and they could still publish the last 2. What are you doing, eh? So that was kind of around the time period when June Manga dropped the ball and just weren't publishing, and they weren't completing things, and they were getting licenses stolen from them because they weren't doing their job. And so there was a lot of problems there, I think, with around that time period. But I do think that they kind of relaunched themselves with their website, and they started doing new licenses and things like that. But I still don't love June Manga. I still think that they're problematic. Anyway, I've got my newer ones. So Teach Me Tutor, Only the Flower Knows, Ore Miko. And then I've got the new ones I've just finished reading. So they're not actually the new versions, because No Touching at All is gonna be republished with a new translation or a new localization, I think is the main thing. So I don't know if they'll still get the translator, because it's Jocelyn Allen, who I love. But No Touching at All was terrible. The translation was really not good. And then Even So I Will Love You Tenderly, which they might want to do a reprinting of, because it's not always easy to get hold of. And then we have some other ones. So from Young Leaves, that one, they're all unread. And I know they're in the unread section. So these are all ones that I don't have, or they still have their plastic on, like Depression of the Anti-Romanticist. I desperately want to read that. Treasure, volumes 1 and 2. I want to read it. But these are all ones that I haven't read. Cafe Latte Rhapsody, My Bad, Right Here, Right Now. I've seen it all. Love Potion. These are all ones that I can't remember if I've ever read them, and I don't think I have. So they're in this section. Which means that the majority of this drawer I have actually read, which is great. And it makes me feel so much better than the other drawers with June Manga, because I can look at this and go, okay, I recognize these stories, I recognize these, the mangaka, I recognize which ones I liked and which I didn't, and I feel good about organizing it. So yeah, this is a nice June Manga drawer for that reason. So this is another June Manga drawer. This has got the large trim size. It's full of series, longer series, a few one-shots and some incomplete series as well. Although generally I have almost completed all of my old June Manga titles. As you can see, we've got Clear Skies at the back. That's a 6-volume series, and I think 6 volumes, and they only have 2 that were published in English, and my favourite volume is Aki-kun's, which is like volume 6. So never gonna get it. About the quiet, bespectacled member of the family and his kind of sexual awakening with an older man who he's been friends with for a long time. It's a kind of an interesting one. I don't know why I love it, but I love it. Then we got Yellow, volumes 1 and 2, Omnibus. Then Ludwig, which are Chunky Boys. Yohiguri. Then we've got Great Place High School, Student Council, volumes 1 and 2. That's a 4-volume series. Blue Sheep Reverie is 6 volumes published, 9 volumes total, and volume 1 I have in my other collection. Our Kingdom, volumes 1 to 6, which I have avoided reading for a long time. The Little Butterfly Omnibus, I finally read. Yay! And Cut, I also read. Exotic and Delicious Fate. Love Recipe, I've not read. The 3 volumes of A Strange and Mystifying Story. So happy to have that in the 7 complete Sublime collection. Gentleman's Kiss, that's a 2-volume series. Then we've got a couple of others. Necroholic, I can't say that word. One Night Lesson, that's the other Ryo Takagi. I think there's only the 2. Romantic Illusions, Lost Boys, Author's Pet, Hey Sensei, and then Arabian Nights, and that one at the end, which I know I've read, Ardent Night King, something like that. That was not good. Then if we move down, we've got some Lily Hoshinos, which I really generally enjoy Lily Hoshino. It's a little bit, but I still enjoy the storytelling. Utahime, which is fabulous. Princess, Volume 3. I need to get the rest of that. So I should say in this drawer is June manga and some DMP titles. So Alone in My King's Harem and My Only King, all the way up to, I think it's Flower of Life. They're all DMP titles. So I need to look into more DMP and see what I want from that. Our Everlasting, Flower of Life. So Flower of Life, I'm missing Volume 4, like everyone. And Princess, I need to pick up the rest of those volumes as well. So that's still ones that I need to pick up. Spell, Dosta no, Not Enough Time, New Beginnings. These are ones I want to read or I've read this year so far. And then we move on to Kurashina Sensei's Passion. I have volumes 1 and 3, and I need volume 2. I need volume 2, and I need it now, and I'm utterly appalled. It's so expensive to get a copy. And if you were in America, it would be a lot cheaper. I hate that. I hate that for me. La Esperanza, Kabuki, Secret Heart, Pure Heart, more Hyota Fujiyama. I love Hyota Fujiyama, but not the one that no one brought over Dear Green. No one brought over Dear Green, and that's my favourite. I want Dear Green. Suggestive Eyes, Barefoot Waltz, Moon and Sun, so more Fumi Yoshinaga, which I do need to read. Steel Moon, more Makoto Tatono. I have read that one actually. I have, I think, 2 volume 2s. Antique Bakery, which I just read. It's fabulous. Fumi Yoshinaga did a great job. Highly recommend it. Volume 4 is tricky to find, but if you can, give it a read. And then a few other single volumes. My favourite being there, Dry Heat, Yugi Yamada. Anything Yugi Yamada. Anything Yugi Yamada. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bunch, and not everything I have. I have, like I said, another collection. So there are other volumes. One day they will be reunited, and I will have a complete collection to show you. But until then, I just have this. So yeah, that's the second large trim drawer of June manga. This is a June manga drawer. It's full of short series or one-shots, and it's very disorganized. I really feel like June manga is one of the most difficult ones to organize, or feel like I'm organized, and I need to take a long time to go through them all. And I also need to go through like what I've read and what I haven't, and there's so much that I haven't read that it's difficult to, it's a bit overwhelming. And obviously this isn't even all of it because I have more back in my other collection. But I just want to point out a few of the titles, so have like a proper good look if you want. There are a few that I'm looking forward to reading or rereading, or mangaka that I'm interested in. So right at the end, Prince Charming, that's a 3-volume series. I have it. Akame Takaido, and I feel really bad that I think this is one of the only ones we got from Akame Takaido, and that's a shame because she does found family so well. She even has a whole manga that's focused on a family and the kind of found family dynamic that comes from someone being included. And she also has, what was it called? I think she called it the Breakfast Club, which was an all-boys school that had like a boarding school attached, and so it was all about the dormitories and the people who lived in the dormitories and their relationships and that found family dynamic, because they are in forced proximity. And so it was so good, but we didn't get anything else. We just got this one, Prince Charming, which by the way is very spicy. As far as I remember, it's very spicy. And we got a few other ones that so many I haven't actually read. In fact, the majority of the ones in here I will just say I haven't read. I have read Live for Love. I read it this year, was not impressed. If I keep going, Freefall Romance, I would like to reread. I think I read, but I can't remember it. So I love Hyota Fujiyama. Rin, obviously I did a buddy read. This is a Satoru Kanage, a Yukine Honami title. My buddy read with Katie, and I really enjoyed it. It is a tsurune, but definitely make it gay. And I know tsurune is kind of gay anyway, but Rin is like, there's definite gayness in that. So if you enjoy Tsurune, definitely give Rin a read. And I'm really glad that I finally did get to read it. La Vie en Rose I read earlier this year as well, and that was only okay. Sakuraku Yamada. It's a series of short stories. So if you like a little bit of short stories, that's one to read. Maiden Rose is next to it, and it's still got its plastic on. I know I've got a couple of volumes of these, so I have definitely read it. And I know that we've got the third volume in Japanese, which I'm going to have to order because I don't know if we'll ever get this or any extra in English. So I'm going to have to invest in a volume 3 in Japanese. And then I think it's really hard to find any that I've... Nine Sleep at the End, I've definitely read. It's a Makoto Tatano one, and it's a sci-fi. So if you like BL sci-fi and a little bit of maybe incest, it's weird but kind of interesting. It's probably one of my favorite of Makoto Tatano's because it makes you think. It makes you go, what's the story all about? Even after you've read it. And then at the back there are so many Hot and Steamy Glasses I've obviously read. That's Tatsume Kaya one, but worth a reread. It was one of the first physical print copies of BL that I ever purchased. Was Hot and Steamy Glasses. I'm trying to think of anything else. There's so many at the back, and so many that I still need to read, or that I read such a long time ago that I can't remember anything about them. Yeah, no. This is definitely like a drawer full of unread that I need to go through. And I think that's why it feels overwhelming. If I looked at everything and said, oh, I've read half of it, then I wouldn't feel so, overcome. So that is everything in these drawers. As I said, I do have more volumes elsewhere, but I have talked about those volumes in other collection videos. So please do check out last year's, the year before's, but especially 2020, when I went through in depth every single drawer. And each drawer I talked about what I had and what I knew of it, or what I had read and what I hadn't. Obviously I've added a lot more to it since 2020, but I also talked about what I had in my other collection. So yeah, check that video series out and all the other previous collection videos. I obviously have other things upstairs, but I do think my collection reorganization video, which I did a few weeks ago, will also be beneficial to look at if you want to. So yeah, any questions or comments, anything you'd like to know, or want to let me know about my collection, please put it down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's not too long. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. I am 365801. You can find me on all my social medias. That will be newly added social medias in the description down below, as will all the links to the videos that I mention, as well as my Patreon, which is $1 a month for early access to all of my videos before they go up on this channel. That is the only tier I have. You also get a shout out at the end of the video, and you will be able to request a vlog or a video or a review or something like that. So yeah, if you want to, check out my Patreon as well. Thanks for watching. Take care. Like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!